Okay, I saw a video on here that popped up on my feed that I'm replying to. I'm not attacking this person, RealityShannon, but I'm going to add on to what she was saying in her video about us not having the infrastructure for all these immigrants that Trudeau is bringing in. It's true, we don't have the infrastructure for it. Here in Halifax, back in 2007, the city council did a study on housing and stuff. Anyway, the report from that study, which was the 2007 Municipal Infrastructure Study that was commissioned under Peter Kelly, determined that in Halifax we needed to add more public housing and more apartments and stuff, around 100,000 units roughly by 2015, where we were a growing city. Did that happen? No. And yeah, they chose to shelf those suggestions because no level of government wants to do it. They want to kick it upstairs to the province, and the province wants to kick it to the federal government. Why? Money. There's very little money to be made in public housing is the main reason. The second reason that we don't have the infrastructure is something called NIMBY. Not in my backyard. Every time we try to build housing in Halifax, there's always a group of people who show up and are like, not in my backyard, you won't be. People don't want a whole bunch of housing going up because it devalues their property. Here in Canada, we don't have any major manufacturing or any other industries besides real estate, which is kind of sad, because when I was a kid growing up, we had manufacturing and everything, other sort of things, including a good, robust aerospace industry and stuff that you'd always see commercials about on TV. But getting back to the housing component, what we need to do is tackle the NIMBYism in our society of people not wanting people to have housing anywhere near their properties and devaluing it. Because housing is becoming quite the issue, not just for people that Trudeau is bringing in irresponsibly, but for people in general. I know people who are literally spending 95% of their paychecks on housing, and that they are literally one rent increase away from being homeless. Same as I know people who are actively living out of their cars, who are going to university and college here in Halifax. So, yeah. Housing should have been something that was planned years ago under a housing strategy, but unfortunately the government pretty much chose to abandon people on that one, and now we're suffering the consequences of it from previous governments doing that and choosing to play almost like the Spider-Man meme of pointing at each other. I'm going to say something that's probably going to make people very angry at me, but I don't care. I agree with Maxime Bernier. We need to stop immigration until we get housing sorted out. As in, close the border and put up a big sign saying, no vacancy. Because I literally read accounts where these new immigrants that Trudeau's bringing in are literally clogging up the homeless shelters. Hell, when I was at Service Canada last year in October to get some stuff straightened out with EI and a few other things, you should have seen the amount of people who were clearly not from Canada who wanted their passport to leave Canada. I remember this one lady, I could literally hear her all the way across the room shouting at the Service Canada agent about wanting to return to Lebanon, and that she had a better life in Lebanon, and that here in Canada, she was living literally under an overpass and having to scrub toilets just to have money and stuff. Apparently, over in Beirut, she was a school teacher. Same as I heard another person telling another agent in another cubicle, too, that she wanted to go back to Ireland and that she had a better life in Ireland than here. So it's pretty telling that just as fast as the immigrants are coming in, they're leaving to go back home. Why? Because we simply don't have the infrastructure to handle them, and Trudeau opening the floodgates without the infrastructure was one of the most irresponsible things that he ever did. Justin Trudeau is an incompetent. He never should have been elected, and the only reason he got elected is because of weed. So, yeah, there's that.